Hey, what's up everybody? This is Chris with Digital REM, and in this video I'm going to show you how to take a drawing that I created over the weekend. So a drawing on a piece of paper with marker that I created over the weekend, and I'm actually going to take it into Illustrator and create a vector version of this drawing. I'm thinking of making a video on how to draw in this style in another video, but for now we're just going to do the process of taking this drawing from paper, scanning it in, taking it into Adobe Illustrator and making vector form so you can use it for t-shirts, business cards, logos, and things like that from your drawing. So we'll get started. Okay, I went ahead and opened Illustrator. I dragged in the JPEG of the image because I scanned it on my printer. So you just scan your image on your printer, take a picture with your phone to pretty much get a JPEG that you can pull right into Illustrator. I just simply dragged the file and dropped it right in. I created a background layer, a midground layer, a foreground layer. Background layer being the plate that it's on, so the little green plate is going to be one thing, and then I did a midground layer, which is going to be like the I guess you could say the perspective or the sides of the foreground, and the foreground layer being the actual the REM, the yellow around the crown and things like that. So we're just going to go ahead and get right to it. This first video, if it lasts too long, the main thing we're going to cover is creating the shapes or using the pen tool to create the shapes. So we'll just get right to it. So what you're going to do, you have multiple options here for the pen tool. You have the pen, the add anchor point, the delete anchor point, and the anchor point tool. So the pen tool or the add point allows you to add a point between two different points. Delete a point. Anchor point tool allows you to manipulate the handles on the tool, and you'll see what I'm talking about as we move along. So we're just going to go ahead and speed through this. So we're on the pen tool, and we're going to do first is do the foreground layer. I'm going to lock my reference layer just to make sure I don't select it. I'm going to go ahead and lock all the rest of them and just make sure I'm on the foreground layer. So we are on the foreground layer, and I'm going to start with the R here. So what you want to do is hit every corner, and then you have these edges that are kind of like a swooping curve, and what you want to do is right at the apex of the curve or the innermost point of the curve, you want to add a point and click and drag, and it's going to give you something like that, and then go to the corner. So if you probably notice, I'm gonna push enter to get out of this, but you probably notice this white area that filled up the screen. That's because we have fill applied to our pen tool. So what we're going to do is go ahead and go to the selection tool, select, and then click the fill properties and go ahead and put it to transparent, and that should just leave us with a stroke here. So we're going to go back to the pen tool and go to the point where we ended off this corner here, and we're just going to continue the shape. So just keeping in mind, we want to do exactly like I said before, click and drag, because we want to create these curves. The apex is around right here. Click and drag. We have to imagine on this one what the shape will look like, because essentially we're going to end up cutting this shape out completely. So we are going to, for now, build the shape out, and I might delete that extra point I just made, but we'll just let it live for now. Click the corner, go ahead and click and drag, click this corner, click and drag, make sure you don't click and drag the wrong way, click the corner, click and drag, click the corner, close it out by clicking the last point. So then we want to do the same thing for the inner part. Click the corner, click and drag, click and drag. Don't worry about being perfect at this point. You can pretty much just speed through this if you would like to. I'm kind of going slow just so as I explain you can kind of get it, but you just want to click and drag for points that you want to curve and then hit the corners. So the main point thing is hit the corners and hit the apex of all the curves that you get. So when you, let's just stay with this R for now. So when you want to edit this, now that you've kind of clicked and you're like, oh, maybe the shape isn't lining up exactly how you expected, you go into the kind of direct selection tool here, and what you want to do is select the box or the main point, and then just manipulate the handles on it like so. And let's say I want to delete this point, I can simply go click and hold and then delete anchor point. And there's a shortcut here. If you push the minus sign or the minus sign, you can get the thing, and you see the plus sign, the P. These are the shortcuts. So you can use the shortcuts as well. So we're going to go back to the direct selection tool. We're going to build this shape like this. We're going to go ahead and hit the shortcut for this. Then build this tool back out like that. The less points the better, because it'll look smoother. So you just want to really just work it until it looks smooth again. You can select a point and actually hit the arrow keys, and it'll nudge your points for you. That's a convenience as well. I'm going to click and drag all of these like so, and you're just going to pretty much do this till you get the shape to where you want it to be. Like almost there for me. I'm saying I'm like 95% there. I'm really just nitpicking at this point, and this corner is really bothering me though, so I will have to figure that out. Maybe something like that or something. I'm not sure yet. We're just not vibing. We're not vibing. There we go. That might be it. Let's just nudge it over. Something like that maybe. And then you have the R. So that's essentially the R. So what you want to do is go ahead and create that for each. Let's turn the reference back on. For each individual character here. So we're just going to do that. So essentially we want to create these circle shapes here, and we're going to do that by using the computer to create perfect circles. So you want to go to the shapes tool. You can select either of these shapes. We're going to select ellipse tool, and then you want to hold down shift and drag, and it will create you a perfect circle. And with that perfect circle, you want to grab the selection tool and move it into place. Scale it by holding down shift and alt, and that scales it both ways, or you can just hold down shift and now just scale it, you know, in in one way, but if you don't hold down shift, you can see what happens yourself. So don't hold down shift and you'll get like your shape will warp, or your circle will warp, and it won't be perfect anymore. And then I'm gonna be talking mess. So you can control copy or edit copy, edit paste by pushing Control C, Control V, Control C, and Control V. So that's what we're gonna do. So select it, Control C. If you push Control Shift V, it'll copy it right into the exact same place. So we still have this shape and we have this shape now. And I want to scale this one down just a little bit. Control C for copy, Control Shift V to paste it in the exact same place. Then move it over. So now we have 3 there. And I want to actually keep this shape, keep this size, and move them down to the bottom. Alright, so we just finished the foreground here, and we're going to now go to the background plate. So all the foreground elements are complete. We're going to go do the background plate, and then we'll do these side pieces. So similar to the foreground, we're just going to use the pen tool. So here we go. Alright, so we have the background layer made. So we've just tweaked it. We've made it look better. So what we're gonna do is see what the foreground and the background look like together. And I would say that's pretty good. This curve here is bothering me. This is something I'm noticing as well over here. That's bothering me. The distance here can be a little more consistent. So we're gonna go ahead and create, just edit pretty much what we see. Let's just edit and make it all kind of flow together. So direct selection tool, and we're just gonna go ahead and tweak all of these until they flow together. We will forego doing the midground layer right now and just stay with the foreground layer and fill in the shapes of the foreground layer. So let's just do that. So foreground layer, boom. We have this one shape here. He's a shape, so we want to go to the shape build tool. Make sure you have a color selected. So in our drawing, I believe I made him like a gold, so we'll do an orange. So I don't see gold here. With no stroke. And we'll just build that out. Boom, that's one. Now if you notice, it's arranged wrong, so, and you can see that if we zoom in, the circles are correct, but this needs to be over that. So we're just gonna select that, hit object, arrange, and we're gonna bring it to the front. And that'll bring it over the top there. But that's the foreground. That looks like the foreground is done. Done and done. Let's do the background real quick. All right, so that's the shape. Here, we're gonna save this one more time. So the reason I went ahead and built that out was to show you how this mid-ground layer works. So we're gonna use shapes to cut out the foreground shape to cut out the mid-ground shapes. So, but we are gonna use the pen tool to create the shapes, and then we're gonna cut it out. So let's just lock these layers. Go ahead and go to mid-ground. Toggle the background off so we can see the reference image, which I love that blue a lot better than the blue that green blue thing that I selected. Anyway, let's go ahead and create this mid-ground layer. So grab the pen tool. I'm gonna start this corner. Make sure these layers are locked. We're only on mid-ground layer, and select it. Corner. I'm gonna act like we know what the back of this looks like. Corner. Boom. Let's say boom. But then we can actually just take it in here, because we're gonna use that orange part to cut out the shape. You just wanna imagine that one. And that should have been that shape. That's one. Let's just continue. We want to just fill in these shapes, so we're going to do that. Select the shape you want to fill in. We're going to fill it in with black for now. So shape, shape build, fill in black. Boom. So then we're going to do the same thing. What's the shortcut for shape build? Shift M. So we're going to be between V and Shift M. Like so. So now we are pretty much there with the design. So essentially what we're going to do is just go in, tweak some of these settings, Again, add some highlights. Let's just do one highlight real quick. But using the pen tool, maybe we'll have a highlight layer, or yeah, highlight layer. I'm tripping. And then just, grab a pen tool, fill it with white, take off the stroke. But then on the highlight tool, just do the same thing, like hit a point, curve, point. I would even say hit a point, curve to the close. So, and then you just pretty much work your highlight however you want to from there. So now you just have a nice 4-point highlight. Like so. My personal opinion, always keep the same distance on the outside there. It's an artistic opinion. And keep that distance on the outside there. Try to keep the same angle there. And bring this out more, maybe. Something. But you can pretty much just work it until, there's no perfect, but just work it until you get it to where you like so. Then when you get it to where you like, you can simply just selection tool, copy, Control V, paste, copy, Control V. And again, when you Control V, copy, Control Shift V, it'll paste it to where your last one was pasted, or where it was copied. Copy, Control Shift V, paste it like that. So now you have the highlights on each one of those. And essentially that's how we're going to do the highlights as well. So really, I've showed you how to create these shapes. I'm gonna go in and tweak them, speed through this, but I've shown you how to create the shapes, and you go and tweak them, and then after you've pretty much drawn everything you need to draw, go ahead and save as Illustrator file, but you can export it and then save it as export as. You can do a PNG, you could do a SVG. SVG allowing you to get the scalable vector graphic, allowing you to get the actual shapes from the file, just like an Illustrator file. But you can take this in the 3D program, or you can, provide this for a t-shirt or anything, pretty much, because it's a scalable vector graphic where you don't lose resolution. So I'm gonna continue to draw this out, finish this up, tweak it up, make it look nice, like the image from before. And when I get to the stopping point, we'll just reconvene there and then wrap this up. So see you there. Okay, everybody, I got to a point that I also want to show in this video. So it's for the Pathfinder tool. If you don't have the Pathfinder tool where you can see it, if you go to Window and select Pathfinder, you'll see Pathfinder. You make sure that's selected. So what we're gonna do is we want that checked. So have it checked, and either it'll pop up here, pop up like a floating window right here or right here, and you'll see all of these selection modes. And essentially this allows you to take two shapes and use them, combine them, join them together, or use them to cut each other. So that's essentially what we're going to do. We're going to use the Pathfinder tool to cut into other shapes and join shapes together. So let's just get right to it. So we're going to go to our layers. We're going to start with the foreground. I made a foreground copy here by selecting and dragging, and it made a copy. So I made a foreground copy, and we're going to work from the copy because we don't want to destroy what we've worked on, but we do want to continue to progress forward. So let's just move forward with the copy, and we're going to select the two shapes that we want to cut into each other, because we want to, the main goal is to get this, if you notice this corner here, we want that out of the picture. And another thing, in comparison to the foreground copy, I'll actually just start over and delete the foreground copy. So we want to bring this, make a copy of the exact same one that we started with, and then first we want to select the E and bring this to match our image better. The E is in front of everything, so we want to select the E and arrange the object here and bring to front, and that's going to bring that to the front of everybody, so we will have a full the E will be in front of everything. So then we also want to select, now in the foreground copy, select the E, select the R, and in the Pathfinder tool we want to use this divide tool, and you can kind of tell what it does by the little icon. It's going to create all of these shapes from the two shapes you have selected. So now it's broken up into multiple shapes. So we want to select this shape here with the direct select tool, or you can probably you want to use the direct select tool. So you want to click right in the middle and it'll select that shape, and you want to delete, and that deleted the shape out of there. But you see we still have all these lines because all of these are each individual shapes with their own individual stroke lines. So we want to rebuild the E. So grab this shape, part of the E, shift select, grab this shape, grab shift select, while holding shift select, grab all of these shapes, even this little corner there, I almost forgot, and then go back to this Pathfinder, and we're going to unite all of these together. And then when we unite them all together, it joins them all back together as one shape, just like that. So now we have one shape sitting in the front. And since I have this as a reference image, I'm gonna just make sure this E is in front of everything, like in the working layer, so it's accurate. So now we have everything how it's supposed to be, and cut out the shapes how they're supposed to be cut out. So we also want to, with that being said, since this is the working layer, we're going to keep this as the working layer. So we're going to do this as foreground shape. And I want to actually create another shape from that, because I want to take everything in the midground layer, being all of the shadow, and I want to go ahead and cut out the extra trim around it. So I want to copy, then take it into that foreground shape copy that I just made, and I want to paste it into there, and I want to send it to the back. So let's just get rid of all of this extra just so we can see what we're working with here. So then I want to arrange this and move this all the way to the back. Arrange, send to back, just like that. So now when we go in and select that shape and select this shape, and we do a divide or even a trim. The trim actually uses the second shape you selected to cut into the first shape, or cut from the first shape. So we're going to do the exact same thing. Select the shape from behind, select the shape in front, and trim it. Select the shape behind, select the shape in front, and trim it. And don't be scared to click on these just to see which each one of them do. So just click on them and see what they do. But select, trim. This is a good resource that I like to use for yeah, just coming up with different color theory, color schemes. So you could go to Adobe Color Trends, and it has all of these current trends, you know, that are going on. So you can see the color palette here. So I want something similar to what I had before, and it's kind of something that is kind of bold and pops. So what I'm gonna do is, you can actually explore and see what they have. Let's do something not necessarily, I'm trying to keep it quick. Let me try to search something. Let's see that. That's not how you spell graffiti. I did like a yellow and like a greenish. Let's do gold. Gold and what goes with gold. So that one looks interesting. Not necessarily what I'm looking for. Here, something like this maybe. So when you find something, you see you have the hex code here, and you could copy the hex code from one thing Let me see if I can make this just a little smaller for this small screen already. You could copy the hex code from one thing, so we want to copy this green here, and we want that green to be on the background of our image. So then you just select the background and double click, and that's where this hex code, this is where the hex code is, and that goes there. So you just paste it in there. like so. Then do it one more time with the goldish color. So now you have some colors that kind of go with color theory a little better, and you have something a little closer than what you made. So essentially, that's how you create. Take a drawing and create a digital form of that drawing, so you can print this out somewhere. You know, print it out, put it on something, create some stickers or something like that. So I hope this video was helpful. I actually want to see something real quick. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful in moving forward. I hope I can make this shorter and more concise, and hopefully things get better. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new. Again, making a day of everything of learning something new. So I hope you learned something new. I hope you learned about like the pen tool here. The main things we covered were the pen tool, the Pathfinder. We find it here. You go to Pathfinder, but then you can create your shapes using the Pathfinder. The shape builder tool, how you select multiple shapes and you can build shapes out of the actual shapes that you selected. What else? The Adobe color.adobe.com. I guess free marketing on that end, but it's a great resource for finding you know, different color theories, color schemes that kind of go with each other. You can even create your own color palettes, you know, and it uses the color wheel if you understand color theory. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but you can create your own, you know, your own combinations of colors with that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you like it, subscribe. If you don't, just, you know, wait for the next one. You'll probably subscribe then, and we're just going to keep this party going. I hope you have a good day. Stay inside. Peace.